Hi there, I'm Leeanna from Proactive Pelvic Health Center, and I'd like to give you a brief description of the different types of urinary incontinence. So keep in mind, the types that I'll explain are not mutually exclusive. So sometimes people will exhibit signs of a mix of the types of urinary incontinence I'm going to explain to you. So the first type of urinary incontinence is called stress urinary incontinence. So with that basically means that the intra-abdominal pressure from above exceeds the ability of the closure mechanism of the pelvic floor muscles from below. And that usually occurs because the pelvic floor muscles are weakened. And what will happen is during a cough or a laugh or a sneeze, or if you're lifting something or in the later stages of pregnancy, this will cause an involuntary loss of urine. And the volume of the loss can vary. The other form of urinary incontinence is called urge urinary incontinence, and this is when there's a very sudden loss of bladder control, secondary to very strong and overwhelming urge to urinate. This can again vary in volume of urine loss from just a little bit to a full bladder emptying. It's also called overactive bladder. The other form of urinary incontinence is called overflow incontinence. This can happen when there is an obstruction or if someone feels that they're unable to completely empty their bladder. And what happens is the bladder just continues to distend and stretch and stretch and stretch until the capacity of the holding is exceeded. And then there's just this constant trickle of urine that comes out. The final form of urinary incontinence is called functional incontinence. So this would be when someone has the sense that they need to urinate, but for reasons involving physical barriers, sometimes environmental barriers, if someone doesn't have the dexterity in their hands to open up the button in their trousers, or a broken hip and can't sit on the toilet, they will get leakage. It can also happen during conditions with like dementia or Alzheimer's, when there's like poor planning to get to the bathroom, or an inability to recall where the bathroom is. And those are the descriptions of the different types of urinary incontinence.